Hello and welcome back to our listeners for episode 34 of the Future Tech and Education podcast. I'm your host, Sochiata, and today we are diving into a topic that is transforming the school playground and the gym floor. We are talking about AI-powered wearable devices for student health and physical education. It is no longer just about running laps. It's about data, personalization, and well-being. Joining me today is the brilliant Mr. Saroon, a pioneer in integrating health tech into schools. Welcome to the show, Saroon.
Thank you so much, Sochiata. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. You know, when I first started teaching PE 20 years ago, my most advanced piece of technology was a chrome whistle and a laminated clipboard. If you told me then that my students would be wearing mini computers on their wrists that could predict fatigue and track heart rate variability using artificial intelligence, I probably would have laughed you out of the stadium.
It really is a massive shift, isn't it? I remember those clipboards. But let's set the stage for our listeners. When we say AI-powered wearables in a school context, what exactly are we looking at? Is it just high-end smartwatches, or is it something more specialized?
It's a broad spectrum, Sochiata. While we do see smartwatches, we are also seeing smart shirts with woven sensors, high-tech chest straps, and even AI-integrated insoles for shoes. What makes them AI-powered isn't just the fact that they collect data, it's what they do with it. These devices use machine learning algorithms to establish a baseline for each individual student. They don't just compare a kid to a national average, they compare the student to their own past performance and physiological state. It's deeply personalized.
That personalization piece sounds like a game changer. In the old days, every student was expected to hit the same heart rate or run the same speed to get an A, but every body is different. How does the AI help a teacher manage a class of 30 different kids with 30 different physical profiles?
That is exactly the point. Imagine I'm teaching a cardiovascular fitness unit. In the past, I'd tell everyone to run for 10 minutes. Some kids would be overexerting themselves, which is dangerous, and others wouldn't be working hard enough to see any benefit. With AI wearables, I have a dashboard on my tablet. I can see in real time who is in their optimal zone. The AI flags a student whose heart rate is spiking too fast for their fitness level, allowing me to step in and tell them to slow down before they even feel the distress. It makes the gym a much safer and more inclusive space.
I love that. It takes away the shame factor for students who might not be as naturally athletic. They can see they are working just as hard as the star athlete because their data shows the effort, not just the result. But what about the health aspect beyond the gym? These devices don't stop working when the bell rings, do they?
You've hit on something vital. We are seeing a holistic shift. These devices track sleep patterns and recovery. If a student comes into school after a night of poor sleep, the AI can actually notify the PE teacher or the school counselor that the student's readiness score is low. Instead of pushing them to run a mile, we might suggest a mindfulness session or a lighter activity. We are using technology to treat students as human beings with fluctuating needs, rather than robots.
It sounds like a dream for physical health, but I can already hear the parents in our audience thinking about privacy. Saroon, how do we handle all this sensitive biometric data? Where does it go and who owns it?
That is the million-dollar question, and it is the biggest hurdle we face. As educators, we have to be incredibly strict. The data must be encrypted and stored on secure school servers, not sold to third-party advertisers. We also have to teach the students about data literacy. We show them their own data and explain, this is your body's information. You have the right to know how it's being used. It becomes a lesson in biology and digital citizenship all at once. We never want a student to feel like they are being surveilled, but rather supported.
That's a beautiful way to frame it, support over surveillance. Now, let's talk about the fun side. Kids love games. Does the AI integrate with gamification to keep them motivated?
Oh, absolutely. We've implemented quest-based PE. The AI sets individual challenges. For one student, the boss level might be maintaining a steady heart rate for 5 minutes. For another, it might be improving their sleep consistency over a week. When they meet these goals, they earn digital badges or points for their schoolhouse. It turns health into a journey rather than a chore. I've seen students who used to hide in the locker rooms now asking me if they can do one more level of their cardio quest.
That's incredible, transforming the gym hater into a health gamer. But I have to ask about the cost. These devices aren't cheap. Are we creating a bigger gap between well-funded schools and those with fewer resources?
It is a very real concern, Sochiata. The digital divide is the shadow that follows all educational tech. However, we are seeing costs drop, and many districts are now applying for health and wellness grants specifically for this technology. Also, the AI can sometimes run on simpler, more affordable hardware. We don't always need the $1,000 watch. But as a society, we have to decide, is the long-term health of our children worth the investment? I argue that preventing chronic health issues now through AI-informed habits is much cheaper than treating those issues 20 years down the line.
A very powerful point. It's an investment in the future. As we wrap up, what is one piece of advice you would give to a school or a teacher looking to start using AI wearables?
Start small. You don't need a device for every child on day one. Start with a pilot group. Focus on one metric, like heart rate or step consistency, and focus on the why. Use the data to start conversations with students about how they feel. The technology should never replace the teacher-student relationship. It should provide the insights that make that relationship stronger. At the end of the day, the AI is just a tool. The heart of education is still the human connection.
The heart of education is still the human connection. I couldn't have said it better myself. Mr. Saroon, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your passion with us today. It has been an eye-opening conversation.
It was my pleasure, Sochiata. Keep up the great work with the podcast.
And thank you to all our listeners. We hope this episode inspired you to think about health and PE in a whole new way. Don't forget to subscribe and join us next week for episode 35. Stay healthy, stay curious, and we'll talk to you soon.